Let's go live. Welcome, everyone. We are live today. Tuesday. Do it again. Let's do it again. You know, the KYBALION says transmutation, not presumptuous denial, is the weapon of the master. Transmute? Yes. Take yourself from where you are to where you want to be. You use the energy that is already there and you shape it into something else. From where you are to where you want to be. As opposed to, I will not. Oh, please let me be. So we'll do it again. You see, we already create naturally. We do. We create naturally. But something happens when you become aware of the fact that you create. All of the things that we've learned now get in the way and say, oh, but what if I'm doing it wrong? What if it doesn't work out? But look at this person. Look at that person. Oh, but look at them. Look at what they're doing. Transmutation. The way you used to think is where you move yourself from to a new way of thinking. Transmutation, alchemy. That's what we're doing on a daily basis. It's just that we were unaware of what we were doing. And when you're unaware, when you are noscient, when you don't know, well, everything seems to be flowing smoothly when you don't know. Because everything is always moving smoothly. It is. But then when we become aware, we begin to question. Is this legit? That's not possible. I would not have gone through my whole life in the darkness. That's what we say. So when we say, oh, well, I want to change, all of the things that you know, they now begin to rise up in your head. I mean, you've always heard them. You've always heard those thoughts in your head. We've been saying them to ourselves for quite some time. That's what we've been doing. We've been saying these things to ourselves for quite some time. But now that we are aware that we're speaking to ourselves, and it is the speaking to oneself that causes the issue, now we're scared. So how do we change? How do we transmute from where we are to where we want to be? You assess. You look at it. And you acknowledge it. You look at it and you acknowledge it. I am. That's what we're doing, isn't it? Where I am. So what are you doing? I am doing. You list it. What are you doing? That's the energy you're working with. Remember, the law of vibration comes before polarity. So that vibration, right, the way it feels in your body is telling you what's about to happen. So when you recognize, oh, this isn't where I want to be. Okay, where do you want to be? Somebody asked me yesterday, why would I be so emotional about it? Why can't I shut off my emotions? I'm like, you're not meant to shut them off. You're meant to use them. You transmute them. Well, I don't know how. Yes, because you're doing it now. The way a thing feels in your body is telling you what you are thinking. But you see, somebody also said to me yesterday, today was the very first day I had peace. I chose peace, Angela, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm like, but we're always meant to be at peace. But the things going on in the world, what happens? Habitually, every day, the news is the same. Every day, the news is the same. You turn it on, you might not even turn it on, but somebody's going to tell you about it. There's always a steady drip of chaos. We've become so used to it, we don't even think it is chaos anymore. It's just a normal way of living. And we've become so used to it that if we sit there and it is quiet and tranquil, we are agitated. Think about that for a moment. That's what's happening. The moment we have any kind of peace or quiet, we become agitated. Why? Because we've become used to the steady drip of chaos. That we think that chaos is actually part of our lives when it is foreign. It is a contaminant. We are meant to be at peace. So when you discover the chaos, when you see it, when you encounter it, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to allow yourself to be polarized by it? Meaning a strong emotion and you'll react? Or will you look at it and go, it's not really for me. And you put your energy elsewhere. What will you do with it? This is the thing. What will you do with it? So to do it again, what are we going to do again? We're going to go through the process again. The process of creation. Remember the laws: mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, causation, and gender. So mentalism and correspondence will give you an image. What is it that you want to experience? That is the image. And the way you feel about that image will tell you something. That would be vibration, polarity, rhythm, causation. That's going to tell you how you feel in your body. You will feel it. You're not flying on autopilot anymore. You have control now. So you have an image, and it makes your body feel a particular way. How does it make your body feel? If the image and the feeling in your body match, you will act accordingly. If the image and the feeling or sensation in your body do not match, then you will act according to what your body feels like, because it is stronger than any image. So you see, that's what we're doing day in and day out. We act according to those feelings, because the feeling is showing you what is stored in your mind already. And so if you do not like what is stored there, or you want to change what is stored there, you must get a new image of the thing you want to be instead. Because you already have an image. This is how transmutation works. You already have an image of something. You already have an image of it. So now all you're going to do is mold it and shape it. Because you can't destroy the energy, but you can shape it from what it is now to what you want it to be. How do you do that? The feeling in your body. That's what it's there for, to show you who you say you are. So when you get that feeling in your body, if it contradicts, you're like, you know what? I know I'm supposed to change this thing right here, right now, but that's real hard. That's the sensation in your body. So if that is a sensation in your body, will you change? No. But if you recognize that that sensation is contradictory, you say, whoa, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, this is the new me right here. This is the image of the new me. How does that person behave? Well, what does it make you feel like? And you'll know how to behave. And you'll start to behave in the new way. You have taken the old energy and you are reshaping it into who you say you are. You are transmuting. You're changing from where you are now to where you want to be. That's what you're doing. That's just what you're doing consciously now, as opposed to just flying through on autopilot. Well, you've always acted that way. Well, I've always done it this way. And so the more you say that to yourself and you recognize that you're doing it the way you've always done, now is the time to ask the question, do I want to continue doing it this way? You see, we have lots of techniques. We have lots of affirmations. We have lots of things that we use. We have lots of things that we use. But when you get to a point that says, this is what I'm doing because this is who I am, you realize you don't live by way of a technique. Do you realize that? You live by what you know. You live by who you declare yourself to be. That's what I mean when I say we already do it naturally. We are already living. The only difference between then and now is we lived on autopilot. We just did it. We just did it without thought. No, we did it without question. We did it because we've always done it. But that's not, it is and it is not how you are meant to live. Oh, it is how we were meant to live, because a habit streamlines. A habit makes things just go smoothly, like the way you're living now. Whether the way you're living now is good, bad, or indifferent, it is going smoothly, with ease, effortless. That's what it's doing. That's how we're meant to live. But we're not meant to live it blindly, which means you just keep repeating what you know. You don't learn anything new. You don't question what you know. You just say, I've always done it this way. And some of us spend our whole lives not making any changes and just living on autopilot. That's not the way. But the way is, what am I doing? That's the way. To ask, whoa, wait, what am I doing? And even your own words cue you. Even your own words cue you. When you say things like, why does this always happen to me? Why do I always make this same mistake? Even your words are telling you that you are doing something on autopilot. That's what that phrase is saying to you over and over again. So when you recognize, and you see, we say it on autopilot. Why does it always happen to me? Why I make the same mistake all the time? Well, my mother was right. My father was right. Why do I keep doing this? We even say that on autopilot so that it doesn't even trigger you to change. And you keep doing it over and over and over again. But there's a part of you that wants to change. Oh? How do you know there's a part of you that wants to change? Because you noticed. You keep doing the same thing. You keep making the same mistake. So there's a part of you that wants to change. Which part is that? Actually, that's you. That's the real you. That is the real you. So how do we change it? The process is always the same. You recognize where you are now and what you are doing. And then you decide where you would prefer to be and the behavior you would rather be doing. Those two things. But now that you've got those two things written there, you have an image in your mind of that thing. And the image in your mind will create a sensation. It is affiliated, it is associated with a sensation in your body. So if I say money, what happens in your body? One of two things. I don't have enough, or whew, glad I got this. One of two things will happen. It'll feel a particular way in your body. So if I say career, one of two things will happen. I need something else to do. This one sucks. Or I love what I do. One of two things. It will feel a particular way in your body. The way it feels in your body is telling you who you are. You associate I am with that feeling in your body right there, right now. If I say relationship, if I say lover, what happens? What do you feel in your body? I totally have found Mr. or Miss Right. I'm so lucky. Or, man, that ain't shit. Women ain't worth nothing. One of those two things will create that. That'll have that sensation in your body. And it is that sensation in your body. What if I say homework? Man, school is a breeze. I have so much fun at school. Or hate school. Homework sucks. My teacher's such a loser. Right? One of two things. So, the thing that you feel, that first instant when I say it to you and it comes up, that is I am. That's where you're living from. So all of your situations and experiences that you encounter, they'll match that feeling. That's how we live naturally. But now that I'm calling your attention to it, what are you going to do about that? Pay attention. You get behind the wheel of your car. If you're gripping that wheel and you're just wound right up, because traffic, because idiots can't drive. See that? That's how you're going to drive. That right there in your body, that's how you will drive down the street. So how do you transmute it? How do you change from that sensation in your body to a new one? Acknowledge it first. Is it what you want to continue doing or no? Good. If you don't want to continue doing it, what do you want to do instead? Bring up that one. I want to drive down the street. I have fun driving. I like driving. So now, what would it feel like if you got in the car and you got all the green lights, coincidentally, but we know that coincidences don't exist. If you get in the car, you got the green lights, You're always on time. What's that feel like to you? Does that bring a sense of relief? Oh, you don't know what relief feels like? Make it home after holding your bladder. And you get there and you sit on the party and you go, ah, that is relief. That's relief. So now you want to associate that sensation with driving. Relief, not the peeing on the potty part, the relief. Relief. Where else have you experienced relief? Bring it up to your memory again, because now you're going to form a new pathway. Driving and relief now go together. So every time you get in the car, bring up the sensation of relief. So that when you put your hands on the wheel, you're like, oh, this is nice. Relief. Instead of doing what you've always done. But you've got to do it every time you put your hand, or you say, oh, I got to go somewhere. As soon as you say you got to go somewhere, bring up the sensation of relief. Because you are now beginning to associate driving with ease and fun and relief. Because what were you doing before? Bringing up driving with agitation. So you must ever be vigilant. Because remember, the agitation is stronger than the relief at the moment. Because the relief is the new way you're learning how to be. The relief is the new thing that you are learning. So it will take you practice to make that be the go-to sensation when you think of driving. So you have to consciously do it. Why? Because every image has an associated feeling with it already in your body. And all you're doing is taking the old and making something new from it. As opposed to getting in the car, I'm a good driver. I'm a calm driver. I'm a good driver. I'm a calm driver. And the more you say it and the longer you say it, the more agitated you get. Fancy that. My driving instructor from way back in the day when I first learned how to drive, I sat in that car for a full 15, 20 minutes, and I didn't even turn on the ignition. I didn't do it. He goes, Angela, start the car. That IKEA commercial, start the car, start the car. That's what it was like. He says, I know you're scared. It's okay. Go start the car. And I started the car, and he turned on the radio. Mariah Carey came on the radio. And I'm pretty sure it was Sweet, Sweet Fantasy. I think it's Fantasy that came on the radio. But it was a Mariah Carey song that I knew. And I started to sing along. And I pulled out. And I drove. And then every time I would go to driving lessons, the radio would be on. And chances are I always knew the song that was playing. Why is that? See, my driving instructor understood something. We're under a time constraint, and he wants us to be over as much as I do. But what would make your student comfortable? Well, you have to figure out how they learn. Because they've already got something in their minds. They've already got something in their minds. I'm so scared. But what can you do to calm that thing that you feel? Something that you enjoy. And he realized that I love singing. And that is what got me through driving school. Now, I don't have to get in the car and listen to music. I don't have to. Because there's an association that has been formed. But we do it. We've been doing it our whole lives. We call them coping mechanisms. There's something that we've done to help us do something. Now, is that thing making you act? And you don't even know that you're doing it. That's what I'm getting at this morning. That's what I'm calling your attention to in your life. Let us take a moment, shall we, to welcome everyone into the space. Good morning, Jeff. Tiffany and Javion, you're here today. Geck, darling, I see you. Welcome, Twitter. Welcome. It's good to have you on. It's good to see you all. You know, Javion's like, oh my God. He might not even be awake yet because school probably hasn't started for him yet. Will you tell him I say hello, Miss Tiffany? Tell him I say hello. Fan base who's here. Hello, Joy. Casey Flo smiles. Miss McQueen. Zola. Matthias. He's teaching the kidlets. So whenever he pops off, that's a phrase, right, that I just learned. So whenever he leaves, that's where he's gone now. He's teaching, so it's nice. Who's here? Facebook, we've got Indy. And who is on YouTube this morning? Well, good morning, Marjorie. Ada, Priceless Faith Productions. Hello, Oracle Treehouse. Well, good morning. And for all the others who've not made themselves known in the chat, I know you're there. I can see you. And for the replay gang, you know who you are. I see you. But what I'm saying to you this morning, my Flo smiles is omnipresent. Listen, whatever the situation is, wherever you find yourself to be at this present moment, acknowledge it. It's not a bad thing. Somebody asked me that. Why do I feel so bad about it, about my decision? Because you're attaching feelings to it, emotions to it. The feeling that you have in your body is telling you something. And if you like the way it feels in your body, then you carry on and you do it. But if you don't like the feeling, then don't act according to what that feeling is. Decide how you actually want to act. Decide how you want to behave. You don't just behave in a way where, like, those little vacuums that, run on autopilot and they work their way out learning all the corners so they know their pathway. Well, you don't have to live life like that. You're not a robot. You don't have to live on autopilot unconsciously. What I mean by that, I mean when you act, when you do something, when you behave in a particular way, make sure that you are behaving in a way that you choose, as opposed to behaving in a way that you've always behaved in without question. You ever wondered why some people argue all the time? Because that's how they've conditioned themselves to be. They argue all the time. Not because they're bad people, but because that's their coping mechanism. If you don't feel heard, you're going to have to holler all the time. Now trust me on this one, because I have firsthand experience. God is pure diamond, welcome. Right? When you feel like you're not being heard, or you feel like you're being silenced all the time, remember polarity. Remember the rhythm, right? The law of polarity, the law of rhythm, the law of vibration. Remember them. So the more suppressed you feel, that's how you're going to have to respond. It is called compensation. However far you push to the right is how far and hard you have to come back to the left. So if you feel like nobody listens, well, then you're going to have to argue a lot. Now, The person who's standing in front of you, they're a new person. But you're treating the new person with the old behavior. Because you're thinking, you're living from the place that says, well, nobody listens to me anyway. So I have to holler. I gotta make myself heard. Well, you know I'm small, so I gotta holler. Right? So instead of actually interacting with the person who's standing in front of you based upon their own merit, you are coming at them from a place of, I'm not going to be heard by you anyway, so I may as well make myself heard now. I'm not going to give you the chance to silence me. And so we treat them that way. But you know what that means? It means you're living from a past memory. You're not actually living here and now. It is just a coping mechanism that you've used for so long that you don't even know you're using it anymore. It's just autopilot now. Here's the beauty of the law. The law will ask, is that what you want? Because as you know as well as I do, it is rather tiresome to argue all the time. It is tiresome. Do you want to argue all the time, or do you want some peace? If you say, you know what, I would prefer peace. What does peace feel like? What does peace feel like? Get a hold of that feeling. You don't know what peace feels like? Let us use our mirror neurons. You know, the mirror you're looking at to put on your lashes, huh? Mirror neurons tell you the thing you're looking at is what you're going to do. So you begin to look at people meditating. You begin to look at puppies. You begin to look at kitties. You know, begin to look at those things. Why? Because then your body begins to do something. Whether you are the one doing it or you are the one observing it, your body will have the appropriate response. If I say pit bull, depending on your experience, something happens in your body. Saw this video. I have never seen a dog that big in my life. And I just saw a beautiful coat, like a gray, just beautiful color. But it's a good thing it was on the TV and not in the yard. Right? Yeah. Good thing. Mind you, beautiful dog. From a distance. From a distance, right? Beautiful dog, but from a distance. I'm not going near that thing. Why not? Because I already have a sensation in my body the moment you even say that word to me. Exactly. So you see, I treat that dog according to what I feel like, based upon previous experience. But what do I want instead? Man, I just want to walk down the street, peace of mind. Peace of mind. So I start now to look at well-trained dogs. Well-trained dogs. You know, the ones who are nice and don't really bark a lot. They're just easygoing. Because now I'm reconditioning myself to say, okay, dog has this sensation. There's a reason for that. The sensation in your body is telling you how you are going to act. That's its job. So if you feel that sensation and you have the capability of overriding it. If you have a sensation and you say, "Ooh, that feels like I'm going to act a fool," do you want to act a fool? No. How do you want to act? Then do that. Then do that new thing. That is the process, day in and day out, of creation. There is an image, you know, in your mind's eye, and there is a corresponding sensation. And if those two things match, the image and the corresponding sensation, if those two things match, then you know how you will behave. Why? Because if you know the cause, you can predict the effect. It is the law of, I love saying it, causality, causation. We all live by them. So wherever you are at this morning in your life, you must know the only thing you can't really override is explosive diarrhea. Sorry if you're eating at the moment, because it just happens, right? You can clench all you want. That's going to happen. But the other things, we can stall them for a minute. How do you know? You're not going to lose bladder function because you haven't made it home yet. You're going to hold it. You have the capacity to override something. So when you come across a behavior that you don't want to do anymore, you are the one with the final say. You're the one with the final say. You decide. What are you going to behave like? Right? What are you going to behave like? You choose. And that's how you can transmute your old behavior into your new behavior. But what do? We allow feelings and memories from the past to continually control us, especially the unsavory ones. And we've become so used to it that the minute you sit there and there's nothing going on, you don't just sit there and go, oh, this is nice. Yeah, more of these. This is nice. Now we sit there and go, oh, we start tapping our foot. Oh, what's going on? It's too quiet. What's going on? And we get agitated. That's what we do to ourselves. So this morning, be encouraged to know. Be encouraged to know you have the ability to change. Recognize your thought first, or recognize the way you've always thought of something. Recognize that. Because when you recognize the way you have always thought about something, you will begin to see you've behaved in a particular fashion. That's what you'll do. Oh, you're omnipresent too, I see, darling. But does that make sense? That's why I decided we're going to do it again. We're going to go through that process again. If I tell you something, and it's usually these things: money, relationship, career. Those are usually the things that stand out to us the most in our lives. And if we have a preconceived notion of them already, an image in our mind's eye, then we will have the corresponding, the law of correspondence, as within, so without, as above, so below. The thought in your mind will match the sensation in your body. They have to correspond, because when they correspond, you know how you're going to act. But if the feeling contradicts the image that you hold, you're going to act according to the feeling in your body. That's why you can't lie to yourself. That's why transmutation, not presumptuous denial. What is presumptuous denial? I will not, I will not, I will not. This is not happening to me right now. This is not happening. That is presumptuous denial, pretending a thing does not exist. You cannot pretend that something does not exist. I know people say, oh, but the world that we live in is an illusion. It is, and it is not. Oh, but Angela, that's a paradox. No. Well, yes, it is a no. It exists Because the mind, your senses make it real. You stub your toe and tell me the table that you hit that toe on is an illusion. Well, the pain registers. So your senses is telling you there's something in the way. You just hit it. But it is an illusion because everything will pass away eventually. Right? But in the meantime, while we're here, while we're living it and experiencing it, it is real because we have senses. Oh, well, that burner is not hot, so I'm gonna put it's red. Listen, you're looking at the burner and it is red. But you're like, no, it's not hot. That is presumptuous denial. That's presumptuous denial. You cannot pretend it doesn't exist. That's not what Neville Goddard is telling you when he says deny the senses. Denying the senses means you can see what is happening on the outside, but you know that the outside is happening as a result of something you did. So in order to change what's happening on the outside, you must change the thing on the inside, which is you. You are the thing casting the shadow. So you have to change. You don't go out there and try and fight the shadow because, well, you're just shadow boxing now. And that's what takes so much energy. So you don't deny it. You acknowledge it, that it is there. And you also acknowledge, I am the one casting the shadow. That's what you acknowledge. That you're the one. You don't acknowledge it because you're not going to beat yourself up with it and go, dumbass thing, I was making these bad choices. If you catch yourself saying, I always make bad choices. If you catch yourself saying that, what are the bad choices? Because that's where you are now, and those are the things you're doing. What choice would you prefer to make? That's what you do when you recognize, oh my God, I make just bad choices. What choice would you prefer to make? And start doing it. The reason you start doing the new thing you want to do, the reason you start doing it is because you are now going to put a new association together. You're going to form a new neural pathway. But the more you do it, the more you practice, the more firm that neural pathway becomes, which means the old way will sink lower and lower as you build the new on top of it. So you can't get up today and say, oh, look, I've been going to the gym for 6 weeks. I don't want to go today. Man, you better go. Because the 6 weeks is not yet strong enough to override the old. And if you stop going, if you stop forming your new habit, you will revert back to the old way of doing things. So if you want to live a new life, you have to do new behavior. And you have to do the new behavior all day, every day. Why? Because you want it to be your new lifestyle. So you can't, lifestyles of the rich and famous, Robin Leach. You can't have old behavior and talking about you want a new lifestyle. You have to do the new till it becomes the old. Do the new thing until it takes root. So you can't get tired. Let's not grow weary in doing good. That's what scripture says. Yes, Marjorie, where you go, the shadow follows. That's why Esther Hicks says you can't run from yourself. You can't run from yourself. That would be presumptuous denial. Pretending will get you nowhere. Well, frustration it will get you, sure. But acknowledge, and then do the new behavior. Why do the new behavior? The new behavior has a new feeling, and the new feeling is the one you want. Go try on a new pair of shoes, especially the ones you think you like. Go try them on. And tell me that your attitude does not change for the moment when you have them on. Put on a new pair of slacks. Put on a new dress. Put on a new fascinator, a new hat. Put on a fresh new face of makeup. I don't condone it, but you know, the whole point is you do something new. You try something new on. You begin to form a new behavior. V22, I have not seen you in like forever. It is so beautiful to see you today. Do the new thing, and you begin to get, you've done it before. Tell me I'm wrong. You haven't gone somewhere and put something on, and you're like, oh my God, this feels good. Oh, I look good in this. Or you put something on and you go, ew, this ain't it. Yeah. You know why you took it off? Because it didn't make you feel good. Feels good. But when you put something on that makes you feel incredible, right? It makes you feel absolutely amazing. I watched this crime drama yesterday because the legal field has always been a thing for me to understand the way the mind works. And the guy was saying, because she's asking him, why would you do that? He goes, it made me feel powerful. Nobody knew. He said nobody knew, but it made me feel powerful. That little thing that he did that nobody could see, his response was, it made me feel powerful. So that's why he did it. So you see, the sensation of what I'm saying to you is that new thing that you want to do has a feeling in your body. Begin to act it out. Get that feeling in your body. Because, you know, people say, oh, you fool your body, you trick your body. You're not tricking your body. You can't trick your body. You tell it something, and it will act according to what you tell it. So if you say, oh, look, I'm doing this and it feels good, then your body will do it because it feels good. And that's how you do it. But you say, you know what? My life can't change until I get what I want. I'm never going to feel good until I get what I want. Then in actuality, based upon your mirror neurons tell you, you don't even have to be the one experiencing it to reap the benefit. The example always will be the smile. You don't have to be the one smiling, but if you observe the smile, you will release endorphins in your body. It just happens. It's like your body just goes, poof, confetti is released. That's what happens inside your body when you observe a smile. You're not the one you're not doing the smile, but you observe it, you get the same benefit, just as if you had. So you see, your body's making it easy for you to change. Look at the thing that you want to experience. But you know what we do? We look at it and we judge it. You think you're special. You think you fit. Narcissist. That's what we say. We're looking at the thing that we want to have in our lives. And that's what I mean when I say we have the power to override. You have the power to hold your bladder until you get somewhere where you can go, whew, good thing. You have the power to do that. So when you're looking at the thing you want to actually experience in your life, you don't look at it and go, loser. It makes you think you're so special. Oh, you don't look at it and do that. You're trying to form a new association. You're telling your body, listen, see this thing? This is how I want to feel about it. But if you go and you insult that thing and judge it, you've just overridden, and you're going to go right back to your old behavior. Every single time. But look at the way you have been designed to succeed. How do you know you've been designed to succeed? Well, habits for one. Anything you do the same way every time becomes a habit. And that habit, you see, that habit now streamlines you for success. That's why the more you practice, the better you get. Habit, autopilot. So that now when that thing is set down, you're always successful at it. Good, bad, or indifferent. So that's why if you're going to start a habit, make it a good one. Because you're always going to be successful, period. You are always successful. Look at your habit. You are successfully doing it. So if you can see that you are always successful in your habit, it stands to reason then that if you don't like a habit because you deem it to be harmful as opposed to not being the kind of success that you want, well then, how do you make a new habit? You do the new thing the same way every time, because that's what a habit is. Any thought, word, or action that you do the same way every time. Why? Because habits make us successful. It doesn't matter if it's sucking your fingers, your thumb. It doesn't matter if it's chewing your nails. You are successful. We have to understand, not have to, it is strongly suggested that you understand, comprehend that you are only designed for success. And whatever that thing is that you do ad nauseum, you do it so much you can do it with your eyes shut, that is what you are successful at. So you can't sit there and say, oh my God, I'm so not successful. But you are. And that is how you recognize and encourage yourself so that you can transmute, so that you can change from the old to the new. Look at your life. What is it that you are successfully doing that you would prefer to change? Good, bad, or indifferent. You don't judge what you're successfully doing. Oh my God, I keep doing the same thing. You don't judge it. You assess it. You look at it and you say, look, is this beneficial to me? Is this getting me where I say I want to be? Is this behavior taking me in the direction of where I say I want to go? Or is it taking me away from? If the behavior is taking you towards where you say you want to be, well, then carry on. But if the behavior is taking you away from what you say you want, well, then what is the solution? The solution is do the behavior that takes you in the direction. Oh, but Angela, that is too easy. No, dear. You know why we think it is too easy? Because we've been told you got to fight and struggle. You gotta prove your worth. You gotta pay your dues. But in actuality, there's nothing emotional about it. Is it beneficial? If you say, I am, whatever that is, and it has a particular trajectory, a particular path, you know the destination. If that behavior is not taking you in that direction, why would you sit and complain? Is complaining taking you in the direction you want to go in? No, it is taking you away from. So you don't complain. You assess the behavior. You look at it and you say, that's not taking me where I want to go. But this behavior would, and you begin to do the new behavior. And when you do the new behavior, something happens to you. You, in your brain, begin to set down a new neural pathway. That's what you're doing. That's how you change your life. But you don't change life by sitting and complaining about the problem. Why not? Because if you're looking at it, that's where you put your attention. That's the direction you're going to go in. It's as simple as that. And it usually because the universe is a mental creation, has to start in the mind, which means you've got to make a decision. You have to make a decision. You do not make your decisions based upon, well, it's been done this way in the family for so many years, and it's always worked. Okay. Have you been doing it that same way, and has it been working? Yes, carry on. If it has not been, but then you're going to have to do something new. Or what? You're going to get the same result. You can want to change, but if you don't initiate that change by making the decision, you remain the same. And you will continue going in the direction that you're in. You can predict the outcome. That's what the law of causation tells you. If you know the cause, you can predict the effect, because every cause has its effect, but every effect has its cause. So where in your life today, you don't got to tell me your business. You got to tell you, though, one thing. And you don't have to go looking. Here's the beauty of the law. You don't have to go rummaging through to try and find something to change. It's the one that's in your face. It's in my face, right? It's the thing that's in your face all the time. Man, I always do this. I always make this choice. I always do this. That's where you start. It's telling you where to begin. So if you're looking at that thing and you say, I want to change my behavior, look at the behavior you're doing now. My grades suck. Why do your grades suck? If you think your grades suck, your grades aren't sucking because you suck. See, we take things too personally. Your grades are sucking right now, but that does not mean you are. It means you're doing something or not doing something. Do you need more assistance? Do you need a tutor? Do you need someone who can break it down for you in a way that you understand? Well, then that is the solution to the problem of crummy grades. Find a way to understand the information before you, and then apply now what you newly understand, and your grades don't have a choice but to improve. But your grades are not telling you your value. Your grades are just telling you what you understand and what you don't understand. See, it's not emotional. It's cold, hard fact. Oh, you get C minus, loser. You know how people can be, right? But then remember, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. If somebody's going to take the time to insult you, listen, it's not about you. It's not coming out of your mouth. It's coming out of theirs, so it's their problem. So the response, as my son taught me to say, well, that sounds like a you problem. If somebody's going to insult you, the response is, oh, that sounds like a you problem. Of course it's a you problem, the person who's speaking it. Nobody's words can determine your value or your worth. That is like saying, oh, look at this kernel of corn. You know what? It's peas. You plant it, and you're looking for peas. Well, you'll have to be nuts. The value comes from within. As within, so without. Whatever you've got on the inside is what you are going to project outward, because it is you. So if someone's going to come along and say whatever they want to say, it has nothing to do with you. I'm talking about, I'm not talking about that person who loves you like genuinely. I'm talking about just people who shouldn't even have your phone number. This is what it is. But we're so quick. We're so quick to take offense. You don't throw your dog in every fight. That's exhausting. But you assess and you recognize, because you say you want peace of mind. You don't want to argue anymore. Well, if you don't want to argue anymore, don't look for reasons to argue. But again, you're going to have to deal with that thing in the back of your mind that caused you to argue in the first place. Why would you do it? Why do you argue? Because nobody listens to me. Nobody hears what I have to say. Nobody respects me. Oh, now we can work with that. Where does respect come from? How do people learn respect? You have to give them something to respect. You see, there's a difference between using anger and rage to gain respect and using a new seed thought in your own life. You have to become respect itself. How do you become respect? Put on a new pair of shoes. You'll change the way you walk. Put on a new London fog jacket or coat and cinch the sash at your waist. My God, you pop the collar, you put your hands in your pocket, and you strut. That is how you generate it within yourself. So that when you project it outward, people have no choice but to treat you the way you behave. They are already treating you the way you behave. So if you want to be treated in a new way, you have to behave differently. But you cannot force or beat someone into respecting you. Oh, we've tried, haven't we? And where did that get us? If you, Damian Marley says in his song, if you use cheddar as a bait, you attract rats. Because allegedly rats like cheese. So you use violence. Well, you have to reap it because it's what you planted. Well, I know people say you can't ask for your freedom, you have to take it. Harriet Tubman took her freedom. She didn't ask. She took it. She took it. How did she take it? With her attitude. She said, nah, I'm free. I'm free. And she lived as though she were. And this is what always fascinated me about her. There was a bounty out for her. Some people say she existed, some people say she did not. Well, we use Bible stories to learn from, don't we? Can't say they existed or they did not. I digress. She said, I'm free. And there was a bounty out for her. And she died a free woman. She was never captured. And it's not like she was hiding out, really, because the way she raised money was by giving lectures. She couldn't read or write, but she spoke. And then this lady came along and said, well, tell me your story and I'll write it. And we can sell this book and you'll make the money so you can keep funding the Underground Railroad. And you mean to tell me that nobody saw Harriet Tubman on the pavement? Nobody saw her walking down the street? Of course they did. But she said, I am free. You can't enslave the one who is free. Anyway, that's the word today, my beautiful friends. We weren't on Lance last night because we have to roll with it. Things, happen. But we might do it tonight. I have not decided yet, but what I do know for sure tonight is we are going to hit the bowl, the crystal bowl, right here on Fanbase, YouTube, and Facebook. The whole purpose of the bowl is to allow, because the law of vibration, everything is moving. Every cell in your body moves. Let me explain to you. When you are in the presence of something that is soothing, you are soothed. But if you are in the presence of something that is agitating, you become agitated. So, the law of vibration is telling you that everything moves. We move in correspondence. That's the law of correspondence. As within, so without, as above, so below. We move in correspondence to the dominant thing. So when we play the bowl, we don't play the bowl because we want to be fanciful. We play the bowl because on a cellular level in your body, every cell in your body begins to relax. That's why we play the bowl. And a beautiful thing happened. People begin to expect it every Tuesday at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what does your body do on Tuesday? If you've been coming to the bowl sessions every Tuesday for the past little bit, your body prepares you. You begin, there's an anticipation, but there's also a calm anticipation of that bowl. That's the beauty of the law of vibration. And you know how you also know it? Sing your favorite song and tell me how you feel. It is law. See, we always live by way of law. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? So, Tiffany, Jeff, V22, Gek, thank you all for being here on Twitter today. You guys can pop over because I always end with a recording of the bowl. Yes, I played that bowl and I uploaded it so that I can play it on command. I just hit play. But the bowl on Tuesday nights is live. We're there and we do it together. So if you want to pop over to YouTube, you can do that. So, Twitter, thank you all for being here. You know I love you. And we're going to do it again, do it again, do it again. That's what we're going to do, right? That's the title of today's message. Do it again. I love you, and I'll see you over on YouTube to catch that bowl if you want to. Much love, Twitter. Twitter is closed. Fanbase, Sherelle, My Melanin, Z-Steve, Oracle Treehouse, Joyce, LKZ Flows, Smiles, Miss McQueen, Zola. Thank you all for being here on such a lovely Tuesday. It is lovely, isn't it? I know. I'll see. Ayapo says he trolling, but he's been working. That's why he didn't let me know he was in the chat. MCM says, truth, the kick in the butt. I needed this morning. The law of cause and effect. Well, you know, MC, that's the way it is. Keisha, darling, I see you. Hey, Ruby, Queen Red Bill, I see you. So, fanbase, if you want to pop over there, I know. I'm waiting for you, Zola. I'm waiting for you, KZ. I know Flo Smiles, she already there. So, I will see you over on YouTube. And we'll hit the bowl before we go. Much love, fanbase. Much love. Fanbase is closed. Fanbase is closed. Let me see. Let me get things ready. Tiffany. Ruby, yes, I know. Part of the replay gang, baby. It's okay. Let me get in here and find the bowl. You ready?